Welcome back. This is lesson 5.4 journal. We are doing percent of a quantity. This is part 1. I will be able to correctly find any percent of any number. I will be able to use both a model and the percent equation. Vocabulary for this lesson. Percent, remember that's parts out of 100. Part is the portion you're taking out of. Whole is the original. Fraction, we know, is part out of whole. Decimal number, you know what a decimal is, and we're going to add a couple to that. I forgot to type discount on this one. So let's have you bring out page 71, which is your vocabulary for this. We're going to start with discount. Okay, discount is the amount of money taken off the original price of an item to create the sale price. Okay, and then we talked about in the last lesson the percent, decimal, and fraction. I can't remember if we wrote it or not, so I'm just going to fill in an example. So let's say we had 20%. Quick reminder, 20%, if I write it as a decimal, remember percent man is big and bold, but decimal man is weak and old. We can move that decimal back 2 places. It would be the same as 0.20. And then as a fraction, that would be 20 over 100. So all those are equal to each other, but when we have our fraction, we like it simplified, so I'm going to divide this by 20 and divide this by 20, which would give me the simplified fraction of 1/5. However, these all mean the same exact value. Okay? Original is the amount you started with or began with. Alright, and the percentage equation. I want you to look at this sentence, and we're going to translate it into math language. The percentage, so I'm going to put percent sign here. The percentage of, what does of always mean in math? Multiplication. So I'm going to use a star, just so we don't think it's x. The original amount, so I'm going to put W here for whole. So up in parentheses, whole is, that means equals, the part. I'm going to put P for part. Okay, and you can use that to translate most phrases that have to do with percentage. If you can make that statement, you can easily set up the percent equation. So if I'm setting it up here, what is, look right there, we got is. What, meaning I don't know it. What have we used in the past for things that we don't know? We use a variable. Well, the part, we don't know the part, so I'm going to put part equals 15%. Now here's the key. When you're dealing with percentages, you can write 15%, but we don't calculate with percents. So in just a minute, we're going to rewrite that using the decimal. Of, and our whole, which is 30. Now, to use that for calculation's sake, I'm going to put part equals, we're going to turn this into its decimal form. So I'm going to write 0.15 or 1500 times 30. Okay, that's just a quick view of what the percent equation looks like. We're going to use it frequently on the next few lessons. All right, let's go back to our other paper. So, we're going to model first. And sorry, this got cut off when I was doing that, but that's just the last box here. So it says Cheyenne has completed 45% of her 260 ALEKS topics for the year. How many topics has she completed? So 45%, here we have a model. 45% would mean I want 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, that would be 40%. So I want you to do this right here. 40, and then 5% would be half. So let's cut this in half to get 5%. So this right here would be 45%. Now, when I'm looking at that, that's good and all, but of what? 260 ALEKS topics. So the total is 260 for all of this, right? So if I split it up by 10, I'm going to divide this by 10, and that means 10% is going to be 260 divided by 10% would give me 26. So 10% is 26. So each one of these is worth 26. So this is worth 26, 26, 26. Let's see how we have 10 boxes. Okay, so that's the entire thing. She's already got 45% done, so that means she's got 10, 20, 30, 40%. Now this 45 is half of this. So since I cut this in half, what's half of 26? 26 divided by 2 would give me 13 here and 13 here, correct? So if I want to calculate how many topics she has done already, so it says how many has she completed, I'm going to do 26 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Regroup 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. But then we got to add on the 5%, which was 13. And we get 7, 1, 1. So she has completed a total of 117 topics. Okay, hopefully you can see that in your model, how we could. Let's try another one with a bar model. It says Milo needs to get 80% or higher on his test to pass. The test has 120 questions. What is the least amount of questions he must get correct in order to pass? Okay, so our whole amount, 100%, is 120 questions. So if we want to split that into 10%, divide 120 by 10 and we get 12 in each one. So 12 here, and so on. Now if he needs 80%, that means I need 8 sets of 10%. So if I want 8 sets of 10%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that would give me 80%. That means I got 8 groups of 12 here, knowing that 10% is 12 questions. So let's figure out how many he needs to get right to pass. So 12 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Regroup 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So in order to get 80%, that would be 96 questions. All right, now let's apply the percent equation. So to these next couple, it says Amory used up 35% of her cell phone's battery. If her battery lasts for 480 minutes, how much time does her phone battery have left? Okay, that's important to note. So she's used up 35%. If I find out 35%, does that tell me how much she has left? It doesn't. So this is where you got to do some reasoning. We can either A, figure out how much her phone is gone, of her battery is gone, and then subtract it from the total. Or I could figure out what percent she has left and then figure it out. I think I'm going to figure out the percent. Now remember, the full percent is 100%. If I take away what she's already used, that will give me the percent she has left. So if I do this, I end up with 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 3 is 6. In other words, she has 65% of her battery left. That's important because that's what the question is asking for. Now, a statement. Think back to our vocabulary page. The percentage of the original amount is the part. So, what's the percentage? 65% is left of the original. Her whole battery is 480 minutes. And that's going to give us the part she has left. We don't know that, so I'm going to leave it as P for now. Now our equation, we can't do much math with it in its percent form, so we're going to turn it into its decimal form. So take off the percent sign, make it look weak and old. 65% written as a decimal. Of in math is times 480, and that equals the part we're looking for. Alright, so we know how to do it now. We've got it all set up. So I'm going to do 480 times 65 hundredths. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. Regroup 4. Plus 4 more would give me 24. 0 placeholder. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 8 is 48. Regroup 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 4 more would be 28. Add it up. 0, 0. 12, regroup 1. 10 plus 1 is 11. Regroup 1 and 3. Now that looks like 31,200, but don't forget our decimal. 1, 2 places behind the decimal, so 1, 2 places behind the decimal. I get 312. What does that tell me? When I do this, I get 312. That means it's the part. So what does that mean for my story? It means she has 312 minutes left of her phone life. Alright, let's try another one with the percent equation. Trevor has 72% of the coins needed to buy the armor he wants on his video game. If the armor costs 3,500 coins, how many more coins does he still need to earn? Okay, we know he has 72%, so we're trying to figure out how many more coins he needs to earn. So this is how much he has. Keep that in mind. So we can find 72% of the total. What's the total? 3,500. And that's going to tell us the part he has. Does that tell me how many more coins? Nope, we're going to have to do one more step afterwards. Just note, this is going to be the part he has. Okay, don't be fooled. Don't just go with the answer of what you get. You might still have to do some thinking. So, in its useful form, decimal would be 0.72 of, it means times 3,500 is going to equal the part. Sorry, it glitched right there. So, 72 hundredths times 3,500 is going to equal the part he has. So let's go ahead and do 3,500 times 0.72. 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10, regroup 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 0 placeholder. 7 times 0 is 0, 7 times 0 is 0, 7 times 5 is 35, regroup 3. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 3 more is 24. Add that up. 0, 0, 0, 12. Regroup 1, 5, 2. Now where does my decimal go? 1, 2 behind the decimal, 1, 2 behind the decimal. So in other words, he has, remember this is the part he has, P equals 2,520 coins in this case. But does that answer the question of how many more coins does he still need to earn? No. So because he still needs to earn some, we're going to take the total. Let's subtract out the coins he has. And figure out how many he still needs. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 I can't do, so I'm going to borrow and regroup. 10 minus 2 is 8. 4 minus 5 can't do, so I'm going to regroup. 14 minus 5 is 9. He needs 980 more coins. Now we've answered the question. All right. Go ahead and rate yourself on this concept. Do you feel 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4? And take a picture and turn it in on Google Classroom.